I have always been a dreamer, and I've always been a girl with routines, someone who creates plans that slowly pave a path into the distant dream of a future that pulses in my imagination.
When it comes to the intersection between meditation and the rest of our lives, it's important that we don't approach them as being two separate things.
I think that living is an act of creativity because we have the ability to create our own realities. Not to say that it's ever an easy or linear process, but I think that building habits and routines is a powerful way to bring your dream reality to life. Because each aligned habit that you create strengthens the bridge between who you are now and who you will become in the future. As the new year has been unfolding, I've been looking at my life and thinking about what already established routines I have in my life that I want to bring forward into the new year, and also looking at what I want to let go of, what habits are no longer serving me, what isn't aligned with the future version of myself that I want to become, and then looking at what new things I want to bring into my life, asking myself what things I've been putting off, and finding ways to create space for that in my life now. So I wanted to create this video to share those things with you. Good morning. I do love a new year for its freshness and the kind of blank slate that it brings. Sometimes we set goals and resolutions for the new year and we put such heavy expectations on ourselves to really quickly spring into that version of ourselves and become something new and change and evolve. And I think change is a lot more subtle and nuanced than we sometimes perceive it to be. So I prefer treating the new year as a time to think about how I can shift my daily habits and my daily routines rather than thinking about how I can change and become someone new really quickly, because we only grow into new versions of ourselves by the small shifts that happen in day-to-day life, and making sure that our daily actions are aligned with the dreams that we have is really important. For example, if you want to be a writer, you need to think of how you can establish a daily ritual that puts you in the shoes of that writer you want to become. If you want to become a YouTuber, you need to show up to filming and editing and learning about what it is that you want to share. If you want to become a painter, you need to devote yourself to picking up the paintbrush or picking up the pencils and finding time in your day, carving time out of your day to make the art. And so in this video, I just want to go through all of the different habits and routines that I am working on creating in my life. And lots of them are things that I already do, but I just want to drop further into those habits and make them more a part of my core self. So let's get into the video. A habit that I really want to continue to nurture this year is the presence of my morning rituals in my life. I prefer ritual to routine because often when we think of routine, it can be very linear and one-dimensional, sort of like something that almost takes you out of the present moment. You're doing it to get somewhere. It's like you're on this conveyor belt to the future. Whereas ritual, I think, exists in a realm that sort of straddles present and a future in a way that routine doesn't. I think that when you ritualize something, you can ritualize a routine, you can ritualize anything really. You're just bringing your awareness fully into the moment and you're sort of making it sacred by infusing it with an intention and a dream. And it's like turning the ordinary into a form of prayer. It opens you in a certain way and puts you in this space where it feels like you're simultaneously deeply present and deeply aware of everything that is in the now, but also like you're walking towards a future version of yourself. And that is why my morning rituals are so important to me. They're a way that I can return every day to that space between present and future. Ritual feels like you sort of bend time in a way that a lot of other moments in life don't allow you to do. It's something you have to be very intentional about and present with. And I want more of that in my life in 2026. And so there are a few things in my mornings that I've been trying to do more of, and one of them is meditation. Whenever I'm meditating consistently, even for just 10 minutes every morning, I feel so much clearer in my mind, and everything just feels sharper, more HD. Even when I'm looking at things, I feel like I can look at things and I just pay more attention. I go back and forth between doing guided meditations and then doing meditations just with like calm soundscapes. Headspace is the sponsor of this video. If you haven't heard of Headspace before, they are an everyday mental health app and they have a whole different range of resources on their app. They have guided meditations, soundscapes, they have stretches, breath work. They even have different workshops which help you move through certain emotions like grief or anxiety or letting go. It's a very helpful place to go if you are wanting to cultivate more habits of mindfulness. I think it's a really great platform to explore because there is so much available in one place. I have a couple of guided meditations that I like to do. There's one called Breathe Through Tension, which I find really helpful just to let go of any tension in my body, because sometimes you don't even realize that you're holding on to tension. And then I'll do a guided meditation and just hearing somebody else's voice prompt me into loosening my shoulders and relaxing my jaw. I'm like, wow, I actually was holding tension there and that felt really good to let go of that. Even just 5 minutes of headspace a day can help to reduce feelings of stress and anxiety. If you would like to try Headspace, you can try it completely for free for 2 months with the link in my description or the QR code on screen, and it'll give you a 2-month free trial compared to on their website, I think you only get a 2-week free trial. But use the link in my description, it'll give you 2 months and you can explore the whole platform and see if it's for you.
Yes, inner peace and ease is always the goal. But sometimes life throws me off center and I find myself in full body resistance.
A couple of years ago, I decided that I wanted to start a garden and have a little patch of land at my family home that was mine to tend to and mine to plant seeds in, something that I could treat as a little project whenever I was home. So I started researching about gardens and what to plant at different times of the year. It felt really exciting at the time to get my mind into a new space and to learn new things. And I enjoyed the whole process so much of sowing my seeds, watching them sprout into little seedlings and then planting them in the ground. The sad thing about my garden is that I often leave, so I don't actually get to reap the harvest and see the whole season of my garden growing. But my family is always there to eat whatever grows, and I get so much just from the process of going out into the garden every day when I'm here and watching my plants grow, watering them and weeding. There's something really therapeutic and grounding about the whole process of gardening. Around the time when I started this garden a couple of years ago, I was reading Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer, and I felt so inspired by the book. And there is one little passage in the book that I'd love to read because it really resonates with how I feel about having a garden. She said, "People often ask me what one thing I would recommend to restore relationships between land and people. My answer is almost always plant a garden. It's good for the health of the earth, and it's good for the health of people. A garden is a nursery for nurturing connection, the soil for cultivation of practical reverence, and its power goes far beyond the garden gate. Once you develop a relationship with a little patch of earth, it becomes a seed itself. Something essential happens in a vegetable garden. It's a place where if you can't say I love you out loud, you can say it in seeds, and the land will reciprocate in beans. Honestly, one of my favourite things about being back home is coming down for a swim in the morning and then getting ready in my car, and that just being my morning routine. I always feel so clean and healthy and fresh after a swim and a shower and then put some fresh clothes on. This is definitely a happy place of mine, just sitting in the car and looking out at the ocean and having like my windows closed, and also when it's overcast. I think I might sit down and journal for a moment before I leave. I've been trying to have more moments in my days where I feel like time becomes very spacious and I'm not thinking about what I have to do or like anything that's next, just being fully present and mindful, paying attention to my sights and my senses. Because for the past couple of weeks, whilst I've been home, I've felt myself caught in so much of just like a faraway mental place, thinking about future thoughts and things that I want to do, thinking about plans, which I think is always necessary though. Whenever you start a new chapter of life, there's always intentions to set and things to dream about. I just like to make sure that I have a sense of clarity and purpose whenever I'm somewhere, and so I think that I was just really building that in my mind, which was causing a lot of overthinking and ruminating though. And so now that I feel like I have that clarity, I just want to bask in it and enjoy the present for as long as I'm here. Just keep walking every day and not feel like I need to always reevaluate things and like be super like lost in my thoughts. And that is where the journaling comes in. I've kind of changed the way that I journal a bit, and I have a few different journals that I use at the same time now. To give you more of an in-depth understanding of the way that I journal, I want to share what each of my journals are for and how I use them. I have a pocket journal from Paper Republic, and inside it has 3 different inserts. One of them I've labeled as notes, so this is where I write all my to-do lists, any random thoughts. I treat it as my Apple Notes on my phone, but in an analog form. I've got quotes in here and words I'm learning in different languages, random ideas and thoughts, things that I think might be useful to refer back to in the future. And then I have another book which I have labeled Substack, and this is where I write all of the ideas and concepts and things that I want to delve further into. I'll write beginnings of posts that I want to share on Substack, things that I want to research more. I think of this notebook as like my loose ends of things that I want to tie up further later. And then I have another book for sketching. I do quick little sketches in here, often whilst I'm traveling. Most of these have been whilst I'm sitting down and waiting for food to come, just in those little in-between moments when I want to take a quick snapshot that isn't in a photo. I do want to utilize this book a bit more and do more sketches in the future, but I like having one book that is dedicated to sketching. And then a new addition to my journals has been my morning pages book. I've started doing morning pages in the past month after starting to read The Artist's Way, and I've been finding it so helpful. Just having a book that is dedicated to imperfection in a way, and just letting all of your thoughts and feelings just fall out of you and not need to make sense. It's been a really liberating practice to pick up. And then my final journal that I have, which has been the journaling practice that I have had for the longest time, is having a blank A5 book where I sketch and I write. I've had many of these books over the years, and they sort of feel like the stories of my life. These are the journals that I love reading back to trace my memories, and the journals I often source voiceovers and ideas for videos from. My writing in these gives me a lot of coherence around my life experience, because I do write in them a lot, and I write in a way that is very detailed and descriptive. So whenever I reflect, it feels like I'm transported back to moments in time that I might have otherwise forgotten if I didn't document them in this way. These journals are my most precious and irreplaceable possessions, because there is just so much depth in every book, so much detail and nuance, and yeah, I always feel a sense of awe when I look back at my journals, because in the moment I don't realize how, things are threading together and the story that I am weaving, because I'm so immersed in what I'm writing in that specific moment. But then when you reflect, you realize how every little moment has accumulated and you've developed a story. That is why I love journaling. It just makes your story feel sacred to you. And I think that is such an important part of life. It makes you feel more self-assured. It makes you feel more confident in yourself. And when that becomes a consistent practice, it's honestly life-changing. So those are my 3 journals. This journal that I'm using now is from my friend Joy's new journal brand called Humble Ego, and I'm really loving it. It lays completely flat, which is very, very handy in a journal, and the pages are nice and thick. I just have the blank one, and it feels nice to have started a brand new journal when I got home, because now this journal is all about this season of life, and I don't feel like I'm carrying anything with me. It just feels very, very spacious. Whenever I write in this journal, I always make sure that I'm in a moment that feels completely mine, uninterrupted, and I'm really taking a moment to tune into what I'm seeing. And I write in this journal in a way that feels more just like intentional. It's not just like, I'm seeing this, like I'm really thinking whilst I'm writing and trying to communicate exactly what it is that I'm witnessing, like the smallest details, the colors. And I find it so grounding to journal like this. So that's what I'm gonna do now. And I need to listen to some music. Where's my car keys? This is always my problem. I go in the car and then I'm like, where are my keys? There they are. What should I listen to whilst I journal? Now we're on. So it's 6 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon, and I just remembered that I have guitars in the house. My family is quite musical. My stepdad plays the guitar, and my little brother plays the guitar, and my older brother plays the guitar. And I want to play the guitar. I've been saying for so long whilst I've been traveling, I'm like, I want to learn how to play the guitar. And so I was watching some music videos, and then I got really inspired. I was like, wait, I want to go and get the guitars. So I went and picked up the acoustic guitar and the electric guitar, and I've connected to the electric guitar to an amplifier, And it's so fun. I've never played an electric guitar before, and I'm just like, I love it. I can just go like this. And now I'm playing the guitar, and I really, really like it. I think it feels really nice, and it stops me from doing so many things. And when I'm sitting here and playing the guitar, I just got to do one thing. It's like a meditation. It is a meditation. And I really like not being good at things, because it means we get to learn and practice and see ourselves improve. I'm excited. I'm excited. I don't know how to play the guitar. I know how to play like 2 chords, I think. There's one. I don't think this is in tune. I can play this chord, and I can play this one, and then I can play, there's another one I can play, but I forget it. When I was a teenager, I remember being, exactly same thing that's happening now. I remember one afternoon in this old house that we lived in, and it was like a sunny afternoon like this, and I just was bored, and so I went and picked up a guitar, and I told myself, I think I saw a video on YouTube, and it was like, learn these 3 chords and you can play any song. And so I learned those 3 chords, and then I would just sit there and play the guitar and like make up songs to those chords. I'd be like, da, 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 da. And that's exactly what I do now. And I always do the same melody. I'm like, da 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 da, da 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 da. But I want to expand my horizons with music. But it honestly feels so good, because so often when I'm working and doing things, I'm so like locked in and focused, but in a way that feels very like I'm producing something and I'm working towards something. It's a very objective, whereas music feels so much freer. And I'm trying to find a lot of ways in my life at the moment where I can enter that space of just where the urgency and the pressure dissipates, and it's just presence. Because I feel like I'm in a time of my life where I'm trying to work towards so many things, and I have so many goals and things that I want to achieve, and it feels really good. Like I think that sometimes it is really nice to be in that space, and it's necessary when you have the ambition and you have the drive, but you just need to balance that with things that bring you into the now, because otherwise it can be a lot of. And so I've been sitting here for an hour. I had many things on my to-do list to do this afternoon, writing and editing, but now I'm just like, wow, this feels really nice. This feels really nice. There's something about the electric guitar, like the sound as well. I need to tune this up. I want to learn. I might have lessons. I'm going away in 5 days to see a friend for a week, but when I come back, I think I want to find somewhere to get some lessons. And I don't know why the amp is making this buzzing sound. I googled it and it said that it needed to be grounded. I'm like, me too. Me too, babe. I need to be grounded too. Don't we all, amp? You're not special. You need to be grounded. No, but seriously, how the fuck do you ground an amp? How do I do this? I'm gonna be a guitarist. I'm gonna be a musician. I wanna make music. I was just having a thought before, when I was at my laptop before I picked up the guitar, and I was thinking how life is really like, there are so many chapters we can live, and I don't know, I think that sometimes people get towards the end of their 20s and they're like, oh my god, I'm so old, like I didn't do this in my 20s, or la-di-da-da. I'm only 26, I'm turning 27 in a couple of months, but I just always have this feeling of youth in me. I'm like, I'm not old, 30 isn't old, 40 isn't old, like you get more responsibilities and more things that you have to take care of in a way, but you still can maintain that sense of youth in your curiosity. My nighttime routine, I think. Something so beautiful about the vibration of sound. Like that. Just that alone is enough. That's enough. Welcome to my show. Here we just... This is my performance. Do you hear that? I love this. I want to do something like funky, something groovy, like with some drums. And I want to write a song, but I want to change them, try and do a different melody. How do you learn melodies? Oh, I'm going to be in a YouTube wormhole. But don't take it so seriously, take it slow and you might grow. You'll find me by the sea, or maybe with the trees. It's the way I've always been. I would listen to my heart, but it might take me back to the start. I would listen to my heart, but it might take me back to the start. And maybe that's where I'll go. And maybe that's where we'll go. Maybe together we'll grow. But it's always a maybe, maybe, maybe. Why won't you be sure? I wanna be sure. And you were just a man in the park, and you took my heart. And I would listen to my heart, but you'll take me back to the stars. You're just a man from the park. I would listen to my heart, but you'll take me back to the start. I said, now I'm miles and miles away. You'll find me by the sea or by the trees. I would say you could join me, but I know I got things to do. I got places to be, I got people to see, I got money to make. I said I got to grow, I got to go. I hope together we'll grow, but I got to go. I'm sorry you're so confused. I wish I had more in my heart, and I wish I listened to my heart, but then it take me back to the start. I miss the days where we sit in the park and we talk until after dark. We were talking till after dark, but that was when the sun was shining. And now it's grey, and now the trees have no leaves. So I've got to go, but you can find me by the sea, or find me with the trees. I wish I could listen to my heart, but it'll take me back to the start. Something that I am trying to do more of and do more consistently is share my writing on Substack, because I have all of these journals and many, many more that I have written in throughout my travels, and they're filled with stories and memories and things that I would love to share with the world in a very raw and authentic way. I want the writing that I share to feel like I've sent you a letter or a postcard in the mail and you've received it, and I'm sharing these stories and these things that I've seen, because I love reading writing like that. And I've done so much of it myself, but I've just kept it really close to me because writing can be very personal, very vulnerable to share, but I feel ready to do that and I really want to do that. So to start that kind of sharing, I want to write out my journal entries from when I was in Kythera in Greece last year, because I stayed on the island for just over a month and I was by myself the whole time, and I wrote a lot and I witnessed a lot and I felt a lot and I expressed a lot, I created a lot. So I want to share those moments. And so this is my journal from Kythera, which is filled with writing and sketches. I felt so touched and so moved by the landscape when I was there. So what I've done is printed a bunch of photos in postcard format from my time there. Some are film photos, some are screenshots from my videos. And I've put like a bit of a vintage effect on them and then taken them to the print shop, gotten them printed on this like thicker card. And then I've also printed out a bunch of vintage postcards. And I want to write some of my journal entries on the postcards like this, and then have them side by side like a postcard. I'm going to scan them and have them as graphic material alongside my writing on Substack. And this just feels really, really satisfying to me. I love things that are tangible and analog. So these are my little postcards that I've been creating. And so if you are subscribed to my Substack, you will receive my little postcards when I share them. I have so many that I want to share, and I think I just want them to be quite short snippets. I don't want to overwhelm people. I just want to provide like a little, you know, when in the morning you just want to read something short and something inspiring, something beautiful. I want my posts to feel like that. So that is a task I've set for myself this month, and hopefully it will continue into something else. I think that's a really beautiful thing about when we start new projects and have these creative ideas that we want to follow, because they always lead us to new places. It's never a static thing. At least that's what I find with my creativity. It's always something that evolves and becomes, and you learn so much through that process of sharing and letting yourself express freely. It's like the more I write, the more of these journals I stack up. I just feel this kind of, I don't know how to articulate it, but I just feel like I need to share in order to cleanse and like free myself of these experiences, and kind of, it just feels like a completion of a loop, of a cycle. When I create something and then I share it, I set it out into the world and I let it touch other people, let it inspire other people. I feel like that is such a core part of creativity. Obviously not everything needs to be shared, but there is something really, really beautiful about the act of sharing and letting yourself let go. It's like an offering, it's a gift really. So I'm gonna be wrapping up these gifts with my postcards. I feel really, really excited about this. It's also a really nice way for me to reflect on these moments. And like I was saying before when I was speaking about journaling, that process of reflection just makes you realize how beautiful your life is, how sacred your story is. No matter what you're doing, like you can find beauty in the most mundane moments. It doesn't have to be a trip that you've documented. You can find poetry in such small things. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. And hopefully, actually not hopefully, it will happen. That's something I'm trying not to do. I'm trying not to infuse what I say, my intentions, with doubt, because I think it just, I don't want to do that. Rather than saying like, I hope I do this, or if I do this, it's like, I will do this. When I do this, it's happening, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and scan these postcards and write out my posts, and hopefully post like a few a week. I want to be really consistent because all the work is already done. I just need to put it together. But I think that's the end of this video. So thank you for watching, and thank you for being here with me. I really, really appreciate it. I feel like YouTube has literally changed my life, and I am so grateful for everyone that watches my videos, for this whole community. I really, really want to do more in-person things this year, do like workshops and events and create spaces where we can be together in the physical, because the digital world, we need to take things out of the digital into the physical, I think. And that's what I want to do more of this year. This is a little way of me doing that. Like, I'm printing things, I'm making my experiences physical, but I would love to share space. I just think connection, like real life connection, that is where the magic happens. That is where the beauty lay. That is where the inspiration is. That is where you get those full body, like, oh, I feel good, you know, after you have like a good conversation with somebody and you're on the same wavelength and you're just like, yes, 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 this is feeding all parts of me that need to be fed. I want to bring that this year. I want us to do it together. But peace and love and happiness for now. Take care of yourselves and honestly, breathe deeply into every moment. Let yourself feel the fullness of life and try and find as much presence as you can, because I think that the world at the moment, there is so much happening, so many ways for our attention and energy to be pulled. And just make sure that you're pausing before things and asking yourself if where your energy is being pulled is actually where you want it to go. And just intention is such an important thing, and I think it's one of my words for 2026. Intention, audacity, courage, love, peace, freedom. I could go on, but you get the point. Bye bye.
We often fail to make the connection between meditation and the rest of our life. In learning to allow thoughts to come and go with ease, we learn to be less attached as life ebbs and flows.